Hey marketers, Bren here with a brand new video, and what we're discussing today is how to analyze the search term reports within your Google Ads campaigns. Now what we're going to be discussing is how you can use this particular script to be able to analyze big data really quickly so you can identify the particular words that do not perform well within your campaigns. Further on to that, I'm going to show you how to use filters within Google Sheets to quickly evaluate good performing keywords and bad performing keywords. This will drastically cut wasted spend, improving click-through rates, potentially reducing cost per clicks, increasing the number of conversions, and driving down the cost per conversion. So sit back and relax as we talk about everything search term reports. Hey guys, here I am back at my computer. We're just about to get started. First thing being first, this channel is all about how I can help you make your marketing better in the digital media arena. So with that being said, if you have a particular question about any form of digital marketing or even marketing in general, hit me up in the comment section below. I really do appreciate that kind of stuff. Also, don't forget to smash that subscribe button because I'm always releasing new content. Smash that like button because it helps me a little bit in the YouTube algorithm, gets me a few more views and allows me to spend more time making the videos, and I'd much prefer to be doing videos than some of the other mundane work that I have to do day in, day out. No offense to my clients, of course. So with that being said, everything's search term report. I'm not going to show you how to get to the search term report. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to jump straight in so we can talk about the scripts, and we can also talk about some of the Google Sheet filters that you can use to really quickly narrow down on the good performing keywords and the ones that you need to add as negatives in order to cut out that wasted spend, get more conversions at a lower cost, etc. So what we have here is a client's screen, and we're in the user interface of the Google Ads platform, and I've blurred out a fair bit of data here, and I do apologize, but they're a new client, and we can see here that the number of conversions has dropped considerably. It's not so much of a seasonal thing, it's actually a campaign performance problem that they're having. So they're spending less money, conversions have dropped, the cost per acquisition has increased a bit too. So they've reached out to me, and I'm going to go through their search term report in order to try and find where the wasted spend is and how I can cut that wasted spend. And in doing so, I won't be able to show you the specific details. Obviously, that's not the right thing to do. But even with that being said, you'll still be able to follow along and apply the same rules to your own campaigns, whether it be that you're spending, $1,000 to $2,000 a month, or potentially even less, or you're spending hundreds of thousands per month. So you want to do this per campaign. That's really important, because if you do this in the account as a whole, you'll get messy data. You want to apply the data to each specific campaign and the theme of that campaign. So if you're a kind of contractor, you do bathrooms, kitchens, etc. You have a kitchen campaign, probably a couple of different types of kitchen campaigns, but you want the analysis that you perform on the kitchens to be specific to kitchens, same with bathrooms, so on and so forth. So that goes for very much shopping campaigns as well. And so you want to make sure that it's campaign specific. So I've just picked a random campaign in this client's account, and for the last 12 months they've spent about $170,000, around about $500,000 over the previous 12 months. They probably could have reached $1 million if things had been going well and scaled, but things deteriorated pretty poorly. So hence I'm hopefully going to try and save the day, which will be pretty easy, to be honest, considering that there's a lot wrong, which is a good thing for me, but not for them. But it's a good thing for them because they're still profitable. Anyway, I've digressed a little bit there, but let's have a look. So we're in the search term report really quickly. I said I wasn't going to do it. We go to keywords, search terms, brings up this report. So you can add filters here. I don't like adding filters here. I find it messy. It's not very accurate. But we're going to be able to do that in the Google Sheets. So we want to download the Google Sheet. So what we do is we click download and we click Google Sheets, and I've already done this. It usually takes about 20 seconds and then you can open the sheet. So let's go into the sheet and we start creating our filters and show you how to create different types of filters in order to break down the data really quickly. So here we are in the Google Sheet, And I've had to blank out the search term, the actual search terms, because of client confidentiality. But what we want to do here is we want to create our first filter. So you want to hold Control Shift, then right. Once you've selected the first cell, I should mention that. So we want to be selecting this cell. And then once we've done that, we can just press Control Shift down and it will select everything in terms of the data. And then we just want to create a filter. We want to come back up to the top so we can see all of our data and the top rows of the head rows, so we know what is relating to what, and so on and so forth. So here we can start to organize our data, create filters in order to see, okay, so what kind of parameters are we working with? So the first things being first is you want to be careful, because I have added the bottom two rows, you want to leave those two bottom rows out. So you can do what you want with them, but I typically will delete them because they're not really all that necessary, or I don't select them. But there is one particular field that I am interested in, the average cost per lead being $121. That's important because it's going to be the basis of a couple of filters that I'm going to use in order to, that's the average cost for acquisition of a lead, $121. That's going to form the basis of a few filters in order for me to be able to segment the data quickly, but also have enough data behind that segmentation for me to be able to use it and to apply optimizations to this campaign. So what I'm saying here is I want to add a filter, and we want to add a filter by condition. We want to say that greater than or equal to, and we want to say $121. So this will only show search phrases where $121 or more has been spent. So we can see here that the list has dropped down a fair bit. So what this begins to tell me is that I think there was roughly almost like 20,000 words, is that this campaign in particular is extremely broad, really broad, and there's a lot of broadness. I've said that in a weird way, of course, but what we want to do is get rid of that broadness, so we're allocating more of our budget to the best performing keyword phrases. So because this data is so, even though it's so many keywords, so I think we're near 20,000, is that we can see here, if we segment here, sorry, my computer's running a little bit slow. If we segment here by sorting by the most conversions to least conversions, we get this two messes here. So we'll just remove them, and because like this sheet is fairly large, things are running a little bit slow. So now that we see here that we have the average spend, the spend per search term ordered from highest spend to lowest spend, with the threshold being having spent more than $121, we can see the number of conversions and then the average cost per conversion. So we can see here quite a number under $100, which appears to be quite good. So we can see here one in particular, which is a branded phrase, which has now been excluded, was getting leads for $17, and things for the top, say, 2 dozen keywords are performing quite well. We can see one here that's starting to perform quite poorly. So what we want to do is start to select the keywords that have a higher than average spend and evaluate them. Do they need to be added as a negative, or do we have to create a specific set of ad groups or ad group for those types of keyword phrases in order to write a better ad and send them to a better landing page? Because depending upon the theme of the words, they may need, you might need to create many different ad groups, or you may be able to use them all in one ad group, but perhaps because of the nature of those keywords, they need a better ad and a better landing page. So as we continue to slide down, we can see that the lead costs start to increase a fair bit here, $261, $300, $233, etc., over $300 again, $288. So we're starting to see quite a substantial number of keywords that aren't performing quite well. Then we can see a whole bunch that have spent over $121 without any particular conversion values for us. Furthermore, we can start to you may be able to find some correlations with some campaigns. This one seems to have a little bit. There's a lot of information around this particular industry, so the keyword, the click-through rates are always pretty high. So anything typically under around about that 6% mark is usually going to be a pretty poor keyword. So we can see here 4% poor performing, but as you can see, even that, that roughly 8% rule, you might even have to bump that up to 10%. Look at keyword phrases that have a less than 10% kind of click-through rate. You got to be careful with that. This account isn't so much applicable to that. Some other ones are. We can see here, I kind of look a bit silly now, but I'm trying to teach you principles and not rules that apply to every campaign. That's why every kind of account and every campaign is different. As we see here, a click-through rate of 4.5% with quite a good cost per acquisition, etc. So I kind of look a little bit silly, but nonetheless. Other aspects that you want to look at as well is the really good performing keyword phrases. What kind of search impression share are we getting, and how high is that? What position is that search impression share? So we can see here we have impression absolute top, and we can see here a couple. We've got the branded key phrase here getting quite a high absolute top impression share. But what we want is, can we get some of these keywords even higher? So can we dedicate more of our budget to these particular high performing keyword phrases where the cost per conversion is $40, for instance, only has 23, 30 absolute top search impression share, but it has a pretty good top impression share. So can we dedicate more of our budget to that particular keyword phrase in order to get more conversion numbers as overall? So instead of getting in this time period approximately, let's say 13 conversions, can we get somewhere between 15 and 20 by dedicating more of our budget there? So that's one particular way that you can apply filters in order to really quickly narrow down on good performing keyword phrases and poor performing keyword phrases. So I've removed all our filters now, and this time what we want to do is say we want all keywords that have had one or more conversions. So forgive me because our good friend Google Sheets is working a little bit slow because the sheet's got about 17 or 18,000 particular phrases. So at this level we want to be going filter by condition greater than 1 because we want more than one conversion. So that'll take care and remove a lot of keywords for us and help us narrow down. So again, out of 7,500 keywords, not many have produced more than one particular conversion, which is not great at all. So we can see here the count is 171 keywords have produced more than one keyword out of 17,000. So we can see here why there's a lot of wasted spend, and we're going to try and tackle that wasted spend as best as we can. So what we want to do here is we can segment here by either average cost per conversion. So now that we've ordered our data from highest cost per acquisition to lowest cost per acquisition, we can start to see what are our good performing keyword phrases and what are our poor performing keyword phrases. Again, it can help you make keyword selection in terms of targeting, better decisions around that. It also can help you cut out negative keywords that are wasting your spend. So there's quite a few that are well over our average of $121, and they may be applicable to negatives, or they may be applicable to better ad groups where you can serve better ads and landing pages. So really, really important there that you do filter down in whatever is the best way for your particular campaign. So with this strategy, if you do have a lot of keyword phrases that have more than one conversion, or search term phrases, I should say, sorry, is that again you can apply the average spend that each particular keyword has spent more than the average cost of your average conversion for that particular campaign. That is another way to segment that. Again, you can do it this way because there's not so many keywords, only 171, but depends on how much data that you have. Even though there's a lot of keywords in this particular campaign over the last 12 months, 17,500 keyword phrases, there's only a handful. Again, let's like the 80-20 rule, 80-20 rule. It's more like the 98-2% rule here. So you can see why some campaigns like this just have the wrong structure and they have the wrong match type selections being used, etc. So hopefully this starts to help you paint a picture on what you can do. So what I want to move on now is to NGrams scripts, because you'll see how we can use NGrams and then move them back into the Google Sheets, because of this campaign's such a damn nightmare, and how you can use NGrams to speed the process up and then use the Google Sheets in order to really narrow down on good performing keyword phrases or poor performing keyword phrases. So let's have a look at the NGrams script. So we've come back to the Google Ads interface and we've come to the scripts section. So to come here, just come up to the search, type in script, and just click the first option, scripts. We want to come to the plus sign, and I've got a link in the description below to a Google document that will have the script here, so you can copy and paste it, and I'm going to show you how to edit it. So we're just waiting for this page to load. So once this page is loaded, what we want to do is get rid of the text that is already there, and we want to place the script that I've placed in the Google document. So what we have to do now is we can change the date, so you can do this periodically, run this NGrams script. Now NGrams, I'm going to show you what they do. So this is a little, if you've never heard of NGrams and stuff, I'm going to tell you what they do when we've ran the script, because then you'll be like, this is really cool, this is going to save me a huge amount of time. But it's a little bit hard, I think, to explain it, because until you see what it does, it's trying to tell you what words don't perform well. So what we have here is we want to change the date, and I'm happy with the current date value. You want to make sure that you select the right currency symbol. You can pick pounds, dollars, or euros. Here you can select the campaign name. So if you've got a naming convention of any particular form, you might say that I want to only include campaigns that have this particular portion of my naming convention, or you only want to analyze the performance of one particular campaign. So you can do that. You can also exclude. So if you do have a particular naming convention but you want to exclude some, again, you can do that here. And there's instructions on how to do that as well. Do you want to include paused campaigns? Leave it true if so. Leave it false if you do not. So what you can do that with ad groups as well. Do you want to check the negatives? So set this to true to remove queries that you would like to exclude by your negative. So it will remove phrases that are already excluded because of your current negative keyword list. Lastly, what we want to do as well, or second last I should say, is add the Google Sheet that you wish to add the information that this script will create for you. So to do that, we just whip back to Google Sheets. You can name this sheet, obviously, and it turns out that I have to, so we're just going to take test NGram, and we'll save that. Now what we're going to do is just get a shareable link. We're going to can edit. Now we're going to jump straight back to the sheet that we have here. We're going to put our mouse just in between there, click paste, and that will run the script and provide the data into that Google Sheet that we just ran. Now, the min and max NGram length is important. I like to keep it at anywhere from 1 to 3 to 1 to 4, so we're going to run 4, and we don't really have to change any more parameters. So what the 1 to 4 will do is it will check the performance of individual words and the performance. So how often do these words occur, and the performance when they do occur. Words when there's two phrases together, how often they occur, etc. You'll understand in just a moment. What we have to do now is authorize, and that's pretty simple. I'm going to have to blow this out a little bit, but I do apologize. And then we just clicked allow, and I get an error, but we should be fine to run because I've done this before. So we can run without preview because it doesn't make any changes. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to pause, and then I've come up with an error authorize here because I used for some reason this script doesn't work for me, or adding scripts doesn't work for me in Chrome, but it'll work for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause. I'm going to go back to this NGram once it's ran. It will probably take 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll reconvene and we'll continue on with the video like nothing ever happened. So here we are, the script has ran, and what we can see now is the first sheet is always blank, but we can come to the keyword analysis, and this is where we can see the better definition of what NGrams are. So in this column, I've had to blur it out because again, it's client related, but we can see the performance of when a particular individual keyword has been ran or has featured in a keyword search term report phrase, and what the performance of it. So how many times did this individual word appear in a particular search query? 8,000 times. It generated 22,500 clicks, XYZ impressions, $100,000, XYZ conversions, and we can see the cost per conversion, etc. So what we can do now is, if we wanted to, we can again create our filter, which will make things far easier for us to evaluate, and we can start to apply some of the same rules as we did before. So we could say, cost per conversion. So we're adding by a filter condition, and we'll see if we're running a little bit faster. We are running faster, which is great, greater or equal to, and we will say $121. So anything that's spent over, anything with an average cost per acquisition of 121, we want to have a better look at. We also want to say, hey, we want XYZ number of conversions. So you might say above 0, or maybe potentially say above 10. So if you're trying to identify particular NGrams, maybe not singular NGrams, you can definitely go to 2s and slide across here to potentially 4s as well. So that here we have keyword phrases that have mentioned 4 times. So 4 words in a row. How many times has those 4 words shown in a line, and the performance stats, etc. So we just come back to our first NGram. What we can see here is, again, we applied the filter that we just applied. Do we want to segment by highest to lowest? Perhaps we do. So we can start to say here, these are some keyword phrases that when mentioned once in any way, shape or form, that do not perform very well at all. So again, this can form the basis of some broad match, like negative keyword phrases. So again, this is a really quick way to evaluate large accounts, large sets of search term phrases really, really quickly. We can do the same thing to 2 NGrams as well. I've already applied the filter, the filtering here, but I haven't applied any filters. So what we can do here is the same thing. We could potentially say, if we wanted to find keywords that were performing well, we could say that means they have the 2 words or more. We could say, you could do the opposite as well. You could say phrases. Sorry, tongue twister here. Phrases that have less than 1 conversion. We can say more than 10. Let's try the more than 10. So we'll say greater than or equal to 10, and we'll click OK. So now we're starting to see phrases that have an okay amount of conversion data, and we can see that the cost per acquisition floats around. So if we were to go from smallest to least, so we'll just go here, we can see some really interesting sets of data about what types of themes of keywords do particularly well. This can help with contextual keyword selection. It can help with contextual. So if we look down, we can see some poor performing ones as well. So we can start to have a look at negatives in that sense. Again, we can apply a different filter of, we can say less than or equal to 0. And we will start to see here a whole host of different keywords. And you'll see one here, but these will be decimal points in some way, I would assume. So we can see here that this is just a mess. It's a fairly big mess of amount of keywords that have a decent amount of spend. We could add the spend. We could say that a potential keyword has to spend XYZ, which is fine, and probably very much welcome. To say any keyword that spent over $100 would be best off to sort by. So sort by condition. So we'll just say greater than or equal to $100, and we'll start to see some keyword phrases that are stinkers, to put it in a really nice professional way, that are just horrible. Again, we can say here, we could order by spend, so highest spend, to help make it a little bit easier. So we can start to see some keyword phrases in terms of 2 keywords at a time that do not perform quite well at all. So with that being said, you'll get some ones that have some form of contextual relevancy. These are particular keyword phrases, either in single kind of words or in the doubles or triples, and you'll be like, okay, this particular word I think should do okay, but it's not doing okay. So does it have surrounding words that are negatives? So, we could take one here, for instance, and just say, well, let's go down and we'll do this in the opposite way. So let's just try and find one that's doing okay, that has quite a large number of search queries. So I've got a keyword phrase here that's blurred out, I'm afraid, but what I will do is come back to the first sheet that we created. So here we are back at our first initial search term report. What we want to do is click here. We want to filter by condition when it's ready, and Google Sheets is caught up. It doesn't like this much amount of data, that is for sure. So filter, and we want text contains, and I'm going to actually show you the word. It's a pretty, no, that's the sheet. So the word is just tour. So, and it's not performing that well, but it has some contextual relevancy, and it did show up 1900 times. So I'm going to have to go back to the blurred section now. But now we can see all the actual search term phrases where the word tour was shown. And now what we can do is we can sort by the highest amount, and we can add all the filters that we've added before if we wish to do so. I'm not going to go through that because by this stage you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we can go from cost, and we can start to see, well, maybe perhaps it would be better actually to say highest conversion cost that contain this particular word. So we can start to see, okay, why is this word performing poorly? What are the other kind of negatives in and around it? So when you get high query counts with individual words, you can do analysis in this way. That's really quick. So you can start to identify the poor aspects to potentially a good contextually based theme keyword phrase. So guys, with all that being said, that finishes today's video. I know it was a little bit long and a little bit technical and stuff, but it will help you a huge amount. If you did enjoy this, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. Drop a comment in the comment section below if you have a particular question about a particular topic that you would love for me to cover. I really do relish those little questions and potential topics that you guys recommend. This channel's all for you. With that being said, a special offer. It's not really a special offer, it's just a generic offer, to be honest. If you want something more relevant to you, you can hit me up on your website. This is completely free. I enjoy these conversations more than everyone else, I think. Come over to my website at brenhamel.com. The link's in the description below. Book a consultation. It's more really just a chin wag about your business, your marketing. I can go through your Google ads, your Facebook ads, your emails, landing pages, etc. You and I can talk for 10 minutes. We can talk for 90 minutes. It's completely free, and I just enjoy talking about marketing and different businesses, etc. Hit up this form, fill out the details. You and I will schedule a time for us to speak. Again, 10 to 90 minutes. Most are around about an hour. It's completely free. I'm not trying to sell anything. It's just talk marketing. I really enjoy it. I think you get a lot of value out of it. Yeah, I do anywhere from about 3 to 8 of them a week. So if you want some more specific and tailored advice to your business that's not going to cost you anything, hit me up. I would really appreciate that because I really do enjoy them. Otherwise, I'm just sitting in my office and just doing work kind of thing. So it's nice to talk to people sometimes. So with that being said, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.